It is down to 26 degrees this morning, and the lawn is just absolutely covered in frost. Look at the top of that crabapple. You see all those birds flitting around there? But at the top of this tree right here, I'm gonna zoom in. There's a whole bunch of birds just hanging out up there. And it might be because that's where the sun is. See them all up there? There you go. See a little grouping that just fell? There's another little group right there. It's like fireworks. The lawn service arrived, and they did mow the lawn this morning. Hey folks, how you doing? If you are watching this video today, it's probably sometime after today. What we're here today to do is just keep moving forward. I feel like I'm on the verge of a breakout. There's no sense beating a dead horse on pruning. We prune the left side of the front door. Watch that footage again. The process I use there is pretty much how I go about pruning overgrown shrubs. I think I mentioned in the last video, if you've got shrubs that are that overgrown, the quick and dirty way is just cut them back 1 to 2 feet from the ground, early spring, let them flush out, and then see what happens. I kind of combine selective pruning for an established shrub with a renewal pruning. We get a little bit of both. You've still got the size of the regular shrub, but it's thinned out, it can flush out again. So I've been pruning for maybe an hour and a half or so. It's getting cloudy out. I haven't really slept too well the last couple nights. I'm starting to hit the wall. There is progress. I know if I can just get through today and maybe one more day of pruning, things are going to start to move forward faster. But it's just every shrub is so overgrown. Whoever was doing this just did the typical make it a ball with a hedge clipper for years. No matter how nice I make these, it just seems like they're going to just over time go back to what they were. I'm kind of wondering why I care. The only answer I can come up with is because I am who I am. Let me show you what we got so far. Maybe you guys will learn something. That'll make my day. Give me a thumbs up, give me some motivation. Woo woo! First, I pruned this Enkianthus right here. I guess if you just know what the shrub is, you're ahead of the game. I really like the way this one came out. This Enkianthus, that Enkianthus, the other one down there really should be taller, but instead they've just been getting rounded off all the years. This right side here is a little bit shadier than the left. The shrubs are a little bit lankier, which is actually kind of good because they're a little bit easier to prune. This holly and this Olga both have a lot more dead wood in them too. This is all prunings, this monster pile in front here. I've started kind of hacking into this holly. It's been rounded for so many years. Look at how tight it is. This just shouldn't be. The shrub will grow, and then it'll grow some more the next year, or it'll be pruned another 3 or 4 inches higher the next year. It'll cover the old branches. The old branches die, and then it'll grow another 3 or 4 inches, get pruned 3 or 4 inches higher. There's years of dieback in here. That's actually a snake skin. This branch actually goes all the way over to the sidewalk. So if I grab this and start pulling, you know, this is what happens. So that whole branch was inside the shrub. And that's what happens every time I prune one of these overgrown blue hollies. You get branches that go from one side of the shrub through the shrub to the other side. You don't want to leave them because you're not supposed to leave crossing branches. But when you prune them out, this mess happens. It's like a mushroom. All the growth goes through where it's dead, and then it explodes on the outside because every year it gets sheared. By the time I take this back to where I want it, the shrub is basically just into like the dead wood or the branches going through, and it's very hard to find green wood. This one may end up just being a pile of stubs. Now you've got some suckers coming up here and there. There's really no growth inside the shrub, which is what we want. So all we can do, which I'm sure this is like the 15th time I'm saying this, is just cut it back hard and let it flush out next year. If it doesn't flush out good, put a nice edge on that nursery spade there, and you just go right around the shrub, push it in the ground, rock the spade back, it'll pop right out. I've done this enough to have seen what happens, and I know it's going to grow. Every cut, you're kind of like, is this the right spot? If you accidentally cut like one of these branches all the way back, you just got rid of next year's growth. If you take a look at this shrub, You've basically got a bigger stem and a smaller stem. And the smaller stem is growing through and to the other side. I really just want to grab my pruning saw, cut it right here, pull it out. But I fear if I do that, there's going to barely be anything left. What happens is if you leave a branch like that, it'll start rubbing, you know, crossing branches are one of the things you always prune out. I'm kind of getting painted into a corner on this one. So this may end up being a stub that's 2.5 feet tall, and we'll just have to let it grow back. Even though I did have to cut out that one branch that cut through the shrub, this one actually has a better structure than the other one to the left. You see how it's got all these branches down low? They're gonna just start filling this shrub in real quick. This is kind of what you wanna see. I just wish that other branch wasn't cutting through the middle. Whereas on this shrub, there really was nothing down low. There's a few suckers down there, but there really was nothing down low. This is the branch I took out, that one that was crossing. All that would have happened is if I cut the top of this, it would have just been, a big clump of growth at the tip, but there's nothing along the base. This was the right call because now there's room for more shrubs to grow. So even when I got to the top, like around here, you see, this is all dried dead wood because those leaves were just sitting for so long, keeping the rain off of it and light off of it, and it just died. There's enough there that if somebody wanted to string some Christmas lights, they could though. This is my male blue holly, which has kind of turned into a ground cover. So many years of neglect, and it's just hard to work through all that neglect. I'm pretty sure it's between 1 and 2 o'clock. I worked through lunch, so I am going to, I'm basically just going to spend some time away from here. There's a McDonald's fairly close by. I'm going to go over there and maybe get some junk food and kind of eat my stress away. We're going to be okay. You know, this is a major pruning. Trust me, it's going to be fine. We'll come back next year. You're gonna love the way it looks. Part of the job, I guess. Hey folks, I'm back and I'm happy to say that I did make my goal for today. I pruned everything on this side of the house I wanted to. If anybody was wondering, I did go to McDonald's. I got a 2 cheeseburger value meal. I ate one of the cheeseburgers. I started a second. I had, maybe an eighth to a quarter of the fries, and I just threw it out. What I really did is I got M&M McFlurry, and I think the M&M McFlurry was all I really needed. So next time I'll stick with just the McFlurry. I'm doing much better now. I'm just kind of at this, I've got a state of tiredness. It's an overcast day, so I'm kind of winding down here. We have officially gotten to the point when the debris pile is larger than the shrubs. We have the holly debris pile, and God knows what debris pile. Today I pruned the Encanthus over there, pruned one holly here, pruned the Olga here, pruned one Encanthus here, Fothergilla major. This holly was just a mess, the male holly. The branches went like 5 feet away. They were rooted, I had to rip them out. I started the moonshadow over here. My dump truck needs what's known as an annual inspection. So it's at the mechanics. I'm waiting for him to get me the paperwork. If I come up tomorrow, all I'll do is basically prune the moonshadow. I'll talk to the folks that live here and see if they want me to rip out all these raspberry bushes, start a bed at the corner of the fence, swing the bed in, and then try to pick up the line of this bed right here, and then plant grass on the outside. I used to be all about making bigger gardens, enjoying the outdoors. Nobody's got time to maintain these gardens anymore. You make it as low maintenance as you can. You still make it interesting. You don't just go plant a bunch of yews or junipers like they did back in the day. If you're gonna pay me to maintain it, why not make the landscape as easy to maintain as possible? This is a moonshadow euonymus, but I just want you to notice here, this reverted. Now I haven't studied euonymus in a while, but I'm pretty sure that this is what's called winter creeper, purple winter creeper euonymus, which I wouldn't remember the scientific name, but I remember we had to learn that back in the day. At some point, somebody was growing purple winter creeper euonymus, and they would have seen some variegated foliage like this and propagated it, and that's how you got moon shadow. But over time, it reverted back to purple winter creeper euonymus, although that doesn't make sense because we've also got this euonymus over here. So when I prune this, I will end up pruning out the green branches and pruning out the green branches over here. Well, the homeowner just got home, and literally the first thing they said to me was, "What happened to the right side of the front door?" So, anyways, we'll see you folks tomorrow. Take care.